as long as your tax has been withheld. So you should go with your withholding tax certificate. If it adds up to the tax you've computed, you have no tax to pay.
So collect your certificate.
Collect your certificate.
It doesn't preclude you paying VAT.
It doesn't, because VAT is a completely different tax. Now, VAT is a tax on consumption. It's not a tax on income. Now, whereas I'm withholding your tax, I am the consumer, aren't I? I'm the one paying VAT.
So people give you tax and say VAT included?
Yes. So if VAT is included, understand that it's a consumption tax. They're adding that tax for you, because you are liable to pay that tax as a consumer. The person that is now...
So if I add it, I must give it back to you?
Well, let's put it this way. If you add it, you're supposed to give that tax to the government.
The government.
Okay? Or net it off the taxes you were charged as VAT. Is the net you pay to government.
Look for good consultants. If you ask me. Look for good consultants to explain to you. But I think this Ifueko's question is very timely. It says, in terms of change, how would you say you influenced the tax system while you were in the office? Because everybody knows that you were called taxman. And for the first time, people realize that government can actually collect tax and collect big money, right?
Yes, I think, first of all, is in anything that you do, particularly when you're in a service organization, and I think in the case of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, which is a service organization, you cannot provide a service without putting people at the center of what you're doing. Now, in the case of tax, is the people who are the tax officers themselves. So there was a need to organize the service to ensure you're building capacity, to ensure you have the right type of people, to ensure you are training the people, and to ensure that they are motivating the people.
And more enlightenment, too.
And more,
I think that was what...
There was that. So then also the people side on the public end, because people didn't even know what they were paying taxes for. People didn't know what taxes were about. And so, yes, you have the laws, but if you do not recognize that people are the ones who respect the laws, and if the people do not understand the law, just going through enforcement just like that without educating them first really does not help the system.
Would you say Nigerians trust the taxman a little bit more now, or we are still very skeptical?
I think for trust to happen in the real sense of the word, it's not really just the service or the Federal Inland Revenue Service, or in the case of the state Internal Revenue Service. It's actually the government as a whole. Because really the argument for tax is that it's you contributing to developing your country, and that's why you should pay tax. Now, if you contribute tax and you do not feel that the monies that are being used are being applied properly, it ultimately affects your willingness and interest and commitment to
People
give.
also worry about the multiplicity of taxes too.
Which I believe a number of state governments and federal are seeking to address. I know, for example, in Kaduna State, they've come together with one tax code and one point of payment. Because what that does, it helps one communicate what the state's taxes are, because usually a lot of the multiplicity of taxes are at the state and the local government levels. And so you find states now beginning to put together that tax code, so to communicate. Now, of course, there's multiplicity from a point of view of there are too many. There's multiplicity from the point of view that people are saying this is tax, whereas it's not tax because they're putting it in their pocket.
Yeah.
What the tax code does is to communicate what is legal. And everything else, the public have the responsibility now to resist at the point of collection.
Hopefully.
Yes.
And then the final question I have to ask, somebody was asking something about, okay, in a state like Nigeria, can we get to the level of quality and not quantity of education? What is your view on a campaign to push for that? I would like to know and be a part of it.
The question suggests that it's quality and not quantity. I disagree slightly. I agree there should be quality. But I also believe, again, I'm using the word quantity in terms of mass. I believe there also should be quantity in the sense that even if you are teaching one and teaching one very well, everybody should have access to that same quality of one that you're teaching. I believe part of the reasons we are where we are today, not where we're all satisfied to be, where we believe the levels of corruption. And I see corruption as an outcome. I don't see corruption as an input. I don't see corruption as the problem. I see corruption as a consequence of what I may say may be the root cause. And part of the root causes for where we are today, I believe, is that I believe we've not had education at a point where everyone had access to the same quality of education. I believe that there was differentiation. I believe that even in that differentiation where a few had quality, Others that didn't have as much quality ended up resenting those that had quality, and has created a lot of dysfunctionality within the system.
Can that change?
There's nothing that cannot change if you put your mind to it. It can change. The question is, do we want it to change? I want it to change, and I like the person who asked the question, who wants it to be a part of it. He or she wants it to change. So if you have a critical mass of those who want it to change, it will change.
You know, there are some stupid questions too, like where's our president and things like that. Does that mean that our populace is very... Well, I don't think stupid is what concerns them. You know.
Well, I think it's what concerns them. I think also that we also like according to my husband, the beer apologist, what's going on, where's Adesuwa, why is her hair curly?
Today and not spiky.
But I believe also because they love the president and want him to be well.
Okay, finally, let's just end and say, so what do you tell women all across the world? Because one thing about you is that after all, I mean, you're a woman, you're strong, you're a mother, you're a wife, and you're everything. Can they aspire to those dreams? And what could stop them?
That's a question that will take another program.
Okay,
because for me, you should aspire to what you want to be. You don't have to be everything. You don't have to be everything.
But whatever it is, I do it well.
Whatever you've chosen to be, be very good at it. You don't have to be a mother. If you're a mother, fine. If you're not a mother, that's not the end of the world. You don't have to be a career person, and if you're not, that's not the end of the world. Whatever you aspire to be, just be the best at it, and I think that's really all that matters.
Thank you very much, Opina.
You're very welcome.
I wish Dagomo all the best, and in any ways that we can support, we will do so. And we'll just scroll how you can be part of Dagomo too, and all of that as the show ends today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week.